The blessing of the Hierophant be with you. There's a whole world of hidden secrets you can learn with my training, if you're willing to pay. It was a mining area once. Now there's not much that's left to dig out of the soil, from what I hear. Still, there's enough of other things to scavenge in the mines and quarries if you keep your eyes peeled. It isn't hard to learn how to find what's hidden. You've just got to look for the usual patterns, the same clues, and you sort it all out. They say the desert's a barren place, but Sun Camp brings a bit of light and color to these rocks by the Hierophant's grace. People in towns and cities think we travelers are shunned. In truth, we're freer than they'll ever know. Pleasant findings.
So, we have a new arrival in Sun Camp. I have heard tell of a traveler, a true thief with skills in metal. I assume that is you. Your arrival is a blessing of the Hierophants. I hope it will distract my camp from these idiotic rumors of Grim Onwig and his crusade. Yes, he wishes to change countless years of tradition because of a misplaced personal grudge, apparently. That can't end well. Sun Camp is under my authority by the blessed ordination of the Hierophant. We mainly subsist on trade from the city of Adessa. You would do well to not question those higher than yourself, child. And the Hierophant is not one to be questioned by anyone. From the Hierophant we are given prophecies, portents. The travelers are blind, but the Hierophant sees clearly and leads them to prosperity. We are not the rabble that many take us for, nor the beggars we are soon to be. I hold such judgments in contempt. We have our own life in this desert. The travelers of my camp are profitable, orderly, and obedient, all without walls and gates. Go to Whitestone and see for yourself. Are those people any happier? Pfft, they're miserable. Very well. There are enough travelers in this camp speaking of this Grim Onwig. We must show that the work still waits. You are versed in our order, and we esteem the blessed Hierophant highly here. Go to the shrine in camp and pray if you wish for work. Be gone.
Any items in need of repair? Got the fires stoked and ready to patch your equipment, good as new. The woman's a loyal servant to the Hierophant, and for that we've seen profit. She and our seer look out for us all. Used to be proper artisans that crafted items for sale in Sun Camp. People still talk of gems and ornaments that they bought here ages ago. It isn't a hard life, really. I had it hard once, working a brothel in Apatir, but Arjin let me swing a hammer for my coin now. Isn't a place I'd go back to. Had enough of whoring myself and scavenging for coin. It's a rough and tumble place. Farewell.
Enjoy the shade, Wanderer.
So the Shade has come to Sun Camp. I have seen what happened to Phasmer, such a tragedy. Lucky that you escaped it. I am reminded of a desert parable. An eagle, proud and fierce, was told that none could fly higher than the sun, and that the sun saw all. The eagle took flight with its great wings to block out the sun's light. It could not blot all the light, but it always cast its prey in shadow. You mean who is the eagle, who is the sun, and who is the prey? The lessons of parables lay in the mind of the listener. But you have come. I will have need of such obedience. from what is being said of Grim Onwig and his pathetic plans. The travelers will learn who provides for them and who should occupy their thoughts. And your work will be the conduit for this message. Whereas you stole many treasures earlier, you steal one now. The Master's Pick. It is said to open any lock. I have seen the pick in a small jewelry box on the personage of Elorin Kriet. Find her in the Adessa laboratories. It is an artifact of great power, sought after by all thieves and rogues, for it is said that no lock may withstand its magics. There is some form of confusion around this item. It was on Elorin, but it is unclear if something has occurred. Strike quickly. There is some manner of uncertainty at work here.
Got a few odds and ends for sale here, if you're looking for that sort. Also buying if you need a fence. The city's the jewel of Detir, so the gnomes say. A lot of bustle and trade going on there, if you've the stomach for it. The woman runs this camp like a damn army. Everything has its order, and we march to the tune of the Hierophant, bless her. Keeps the coin coming in, at any rate. Argene thanks the Hierophant for that. And we all do, for that matter. As far as the traveller camps go, Sun's the largest. They say that Argene founded it over 60 years ago. Folks from all walks come to join the travellers. Beggars, highwaymen, thieves, all looking to live a life without laws or lords. So long.
Hey there.
The Hierophant keep you. What are you needing with me? Argene is the leader and founder of Sun Camp. She must be one of the oldest travelers in the Phalanx. The woman's heart is cold iron.
Come now, you don't expect me to have actually read the thing. I have my reputation as a courier to think of.
Sun Camp is built around trade. Argene started it before Adessa was built, and she keeps her tinker's hands very busy. Surely you're joking. Everyone knows the Hierophant, one of the pillars of a traveler's life. The Hierophant uses prophecy to see what we must steal, and steers our hands. Without that, we would be blind. We don't deal in swords and wars or magic. Clever hands and quick eyes are what suit a traveler best. Good.
Looks like you're used to dust on your feet. Willing to help an old tinker collecting some iron? I've been in Sun Camp since it started, and Arjene's been right here with me. She saw Adessa carved into the side of that crater. She keeps faithful to the Hierophant, and it seems in turn that we stay prosperous. Not a bad arrangement. I've been tinkering in this camp almost as long as it's been around. It isn't much like Star or Moon. Arjene runs this camp fine, but after all these years, I don't even know her all that well. A good many people love the Travelers as thieves, but we first started with people like me, tinkers, journeymen, and wanderers. Make my trade as a tinker, fixing pots and spades and shovels for common folk. But with the war on, iron's been scarce. I'm too old to go around scrounging for bits and scraps. If you find any iron components on your travels, I'll pay well for them. Well, that's good. Iron isn't exactly like gold. It should be pretty commonplace if you look. Or even some time at Briente's forge might help. But I'm a tinker, mind you, not a smith. I can't work with finished pieces. I need iron components. Farewell.
Hold right there, newcomer. I welcome you to Adessa, but before you enter, I must catalogue your visit. Please answer the questions as truthfully as possible. It's imperative that our tallies be accurate. Now, what brings you to Adessa? Excuse my rudeness. I am Senar Bruges, tallier second class to the Domus Politica. My purpose is to sort those that come to Adessa, to welcome them to the city while maintaining the delicate balance we gnomes have achieved. They help sort the newly arrived in the city. We want to ensure that everyone is placed where they properly belong. Yes, well, at least you look more put together than some of the people that came here before you. Poor sods. With any luck, your errands go without incident. Now, where have you come to Adessa from? From Morris Hughes? You mean to say you've come from Alistar? Yes, I see it now. They were wrong about your nose, but you match the description of the one I was to look out for. We can dispense with the remainder of my questions. You are free to enter Adessa. Sandstone Villa will serve as your lodgings. Temporarily. This is rare, newcomer. Very rare. If I can speak frankly, I'm not sure this is the blessing you take it to be. True, you have been saved from the squalid lodgings of the Hospitalis quarters. But Sandstone Villa is reserved for, well, it is not my place to speak of it. This key will provide you with access to the villa. You would do well to be very aware of your surroundings, stranger. Now, good day. Yes, you are now officially recorded as having entered Adessa, center of all gnomish society in the Feylands. I'm sure you'll learn about the city the more time you spend in it. It is vast, but well designed. The Domus Politica has me tallying and sorting all new arrivals to the city. Another few years and I could be Italier, first class. The Domus is where all of Adessa's political work is done. The Templars determine the policy, and it is there that we enact it. And not everyone is given a villa just for arriving here. But I'd be careful. A gifted necklace can easily be a golden chain. Yes, yes, go on.
You're the one that's come from Alistar. I've waited more than a while for you to show up. I'm Bruton, Decanus Bruton of the Praetorians. I've been stationed here for your protection. I won't lie to you, Longlegs. You being housed here is because someone wants to keep an eye on you. I don't even know who it is. But I can tell you one thing. A gnome who keeps secrets in this city isn't up to anything good. Better to track them down before you or anyone else gets hurt. Luckily, looks like I'm not the only one that noticed your arrival. Got some letters here from the other concerned parties. Could be some leads. Decanus ain't my name. It's my rank among the city's Praetorians. And it's what's keeping you safe. My orders come from high, that's all I know. You ask me, only a Templar is the kind of pull to set you up here. Good luck trying to learn any more than that. If a Templar wants to remain anonymous, they have the influences to pull it off. Because someone important enough in this city said you needed it. You're being watched. Either you charm someone high up or you piss them off. Either way, they don't want you on your own. Hey, and here they are. Talking with any of their authors should get you in the right direction. I won't lie to you. I'm sticking my neck out here helping you the way I have. But I won't stand to let any one gnome ruin the greater good of my people. Need anything else, talk to my Lou. He's been stationed as your retainer while you stay in the villa. How should I know? It was a Dresden sign. I just checked for poison and all that. Just track down whoever wrote them. You do know how to read, right? That might be useful. The city, our leadership, the Templars, don't see eye to eye. They have separate allegiances and conflicting motives, and it seems like you're in the middle of them. I'm Decanus of the Praetorians. I've been ordered to keep you safe within the city, which would admittedly be easier without someone breathing down your neck. In Adessa, wars are fought with papers and politics. And if you're being watched, that means somewhere, someone wants something. Quite the palace for an outsider. No offense. But this gilded collar of yours has a long chain. If I were you, I'd find out where it leads. before it becomes a noose. Gnomes don't have kings or mayors or theocrats. It is a caste whose sole duty it is to lead the rest of us, though it can lead to turmoil, sometimes. Yeah, good hunting.
Milu, greetings, Master. I am Milu. I am here to manage the household affairs of Sandstone Villa, should you have any need of my services. The city is yours to explore, should you wish. The amount of freedom you are allowed is not normally granted to outsiders. As preparation for managing this household, I attended some of the humoral and physiological dissertations of Vian Severus. He's quite the healer. And now, so am I. I am a servant and the manager of Sandstone Villa. I also have some knowledge of the medical arts, should you require them. Farewell, Master.
What? I got enough things on my mind, stranger, without dealing with the inquiries of a busybody. The gnomes call this a place of enlightenment, but it comes at the cost of sympathy for wretches like us. A dark and dingy place. Don't know how, but the gnomes managed to take one of these grand buildings and turn it into an eyesore. Not much left to claw out of the dirt in Detir, so I came here with my husband Esclad to try and make a living. Either that or starve. My damn fool of a husband. Thought the gnomes wouldn't punish a man who is desperate from hunger, but he was wrong. Yes, off with you.
This is Adessa prison. Admittance is not allowed for the good of the public.
What now?
Are you? You have come! The new guest of Sandstone Villa. Thank the gods you've arrived. I'm Cordan Passant, a scrivener of the Domus, and I have need of your help to solve a rather delicate situation. I was asked to write a letter of contingency. Should things for the Alpha turn dire, it would establish a known peace between Adessa and the Tuatha armies. It was never meant to be sent, only prepared, but it was accidentally taken by the courier. It must be recovered. Ah, yes. There was a tad of artistic license that I took when drafting that correspondence. I needed your attention by any means. I apologize for the deceit, but I assure you my business is genuine. You are not constrained by gnomish protocol. I cannot complete this task myself. Should anyone see me correct that mistake, it would not only cost my reputation, but the reputation of the gnome that ordered I write that letter. I am bound to preserve our integrity. I was the one that processed the paperwork which established your placement in Sandstone Villa. I know who put you there, and that's why I left that letter. You need to find the courier. It was a traveller by the name of Parwan Well. She said she was making her way to Detir, but she might have stopped in the travellers' camp in Apotir. Sun Camp is the name, I believe. Many of us come far from our homeland for the opportunity of success. A new city opens up societal ranks. I've been a scrivener in the Domus for over 10 years. I'm often called upon to compose official correspondence and letters of a diplomatic nature. The Domus Politica handles all of the documentation that's needed to support the Templar diplomacy. The Gnomes do not acknowledge war as an acceptable circumstance. We cannot condone either side until a peace is reached. The benefits either side may gain from such conflict are short-term when compared to the decades of rebuilding and fortifying that such a war will necessitate. The Templars exemplify what's great about our people. Wisdom, ingenuity, bravery, and justice. Gnome society is led by few, who rely on the efforts of many. Here in the walls, we work, so that they are free to lead us more effectively. Fair enough.
You wish to speak?
Ah, the guest of Sandstone Villa. How can the Domus Politica be of service today? Though only half-built, our city already stands as a beacon of enlightenment in this desert. The garrison is one of the oldest buildings in the walls, and nearly as old as a livrarium. Me? I'm the foremost scrivener we have. If you need a letter or tome duplicated, see me. A page every 3 minutes, guaranteed. The walls house the infrastructure of Adessa. The bursars, the laboratories, the garrison, the prison, even the Arcadium. If you need anything, you can find it here. The Arcadium is where I often find what I need, be it a work of art or a household item. The financial hub of Adessa. Larger merchant transactions take place there, instead of the Arcadium. The laboratories are where most scientific and magical study takes place in Adessa. The prison is relatively new. There was no need for it when we Gnomes first settled here. Just as well.
Yes? Welcome to the Well met. Have you need to practice your sword arm? We have sparring chambers for your use. It's a common training amongst the Guard. Those seeking to improve their skills or try new tactics may use it. Very well, speak with me again if you need practice. When we first discovered this crater, we found it suitable to protect our greatest tomes. We built the library, and the city grew around it. I am the captain of this garrison, and I oversee the training of new recruits. Be sure to keep the peace. We are the militant arm of Gnomish society. We ensure that there is order, obedience, and support for the will of the Templars. You're not going anywhere! What?
What? Guest of Sandstone Villa or no, I'm afraid I have little time of which to suffer a distraction. Adessa's done a lot for the sake of this desert. It's our coin that keeps Ironfast Keep in mail, and it keeps the mines open. Somehow, it has fallen to me to make sure the Grand Bursar is appropriating gold to meet our needs correctly. I was not trained for this. In reality, the positions of scholars in the Basilica are abstract enough that we are called upon to monitor a variety of concerns and issues, academic and banal. Yes, yes.
You look like you have some free time on your hands. Care to earn a bit of coin? Uncatalogued tomes are stored and protected in warded containers. If you save me some time, I'll pay you well. All I need you to do is go to each container and dispel the ward on it. I'll pay you for each one you manage to dispel. Excellent. I'll have some brought up. They'll be in the upstairs alcove waiting for you. It is truly a wondrous place. The work I've been able to accomplish that they've sponsored, truly marvelous. I'm responsible for going through vast amounts of experiment results and distilling them into concise data. With that, the Basilica Nostra can qualify our findings. We process all the data from experiments both housed internally and externally. Once compiled, we send it on to the Basilica Nostra. A pleasure.
What? Interesting. Taller than I would have thought, but still. You will serve as a subject. You are the guest at Sandstone Villa, correct? Otherwise, I'll have to look elsewhere. This is a city built on principles. It is the Gnomish ideal. Our plans, followed diligently by many workers to perfect harmony. Whispers have spread through town about the work done there. The work that involved a certain someone in present company. This experiment will conclude a decade's worth of study. It is to observe kinetic mana aggregation. I've collected a number of wild specimens from these lands at great expense. I wish you to fight them while I observe. There are two reasons. First, you're not in the Hospitalis quarters, which means I can legally use you for a subject. Second, you were present at Alistar. Don't deny it. I've learned enough. You must have been exposed to powerful magic. Very good, very good. I'd like to get started immediately. Please meet me in my laboratory in the Adessa mine. I've been a researcher in Adessa for so many years, I forgot when I began. It coincided with the start of my study, on the rise of magic. The grand proving ground of knowledge. Here, a researcher can make a claim, experiment with it, and follow its results all the way to the Basilica. If you aren't enjoying the sights of the walls, then have you seen the Arcadium, or the markets? There might be more of use to you there. So long! What?
Salutations.
Damn bloody fool thing, Lauren. Oh, did not see you there, stranger. What? What the devil are you talking about? I don't have any sort of, did you say master's pick? Just about the only possession I had that was wholly my own. Isn't even mine any... Oh, now why am I telling you this? Leave me. Friendly? Yes. It has been too long since I've had a friendly, decent person to converse with. Well, I never had this master's pick, but I did have a strangely unopenable jewelry box until the Praetorians confiscated it. Now it's rotting in the armory, and all because they think I'm in league with someone they don't support anymore. Such a bother. It is by far the most important location in the Feylands. It houses the summation of Gnomish knowledge, culture, and progress. I've given my life to interpreting the results from our experiments and learning how it can be used by the Basilica Nostra. It's my duty, my role. We conduct experiments within and without the city, as well as aggregate the information collected therein. Ah, very well.
Have you done all the work you've wanted to? I see. I'll pay you for the containers you dispelled. Speak with me again if you want more work. I'm never going to get these blasted containers dispelled. Very well. A pleasure.
Good tidings.
Simeon Crow at your service. Got a deck and ready to read Fate, if that's your game. Adessa? Ask a gnome. I mean, I'm just building the place, that's all. My uncle first told me how to use the cards. I'm rubbish at most magic, but somehow I have a bit of skill with seeing fate. Not the nicest place to stay in this city. I might consider moving back to Whitestone now that I hear it's on the upswing of things. It's a rough place, where the hungry gather and the poor rest. The workers have it no better. I was going to set up a shop in the market. Left my home in Imer to do it. But I spent nearly all I had to get here. Had to start doing labor to get my bread. Have you been there? I never should have left. Beautiful little town despite those uppity Elfar. Bonetown was a hard place to live, but it might be better off now thanks to what you've done. Farewell!
Fancy a chat?
You want something? All I've got to my name's my father's trousers and a bad hangover. So piss off. Yeah. You want something? All I've got to my name's my father's trousers and a bad hangover. Things used to be better here. Now Apatier's looking like the better option, thanks to you. I heard what you did. Thanks. I hear you helped start cleaning it up. I'm sure you have the people's thanks for that. Used to do a tour or two as an archer with some mercenaries. They turned to banditry and I just turned to ale. Ain't the sandstone villa from what I hear. But I've slept in worse places, I can promise you that. Ain't good at much, but I don't need to be noticed if I ain't looking to be. For a bit of coin, I can teach anyone to be the same. Yeah.
Welcome, stranger. There are always prayers to Mitharu, but few answerers, save those from Redalmain. Have you come to help? It is one of sorts. It is a board of petitions made by those of the Hospitalis quarters. I keep it for the good of this place. The gnomes do not keep the faith of Mitharu. That much is enough for me. Mitharu is the great order of the world, who grants purpose and structure to all life. Mitharu and Redalmain guide my work. Redalmain has much, but he understands that he cannot enact the change that could help us without jeopardizing all of our safety. Be pious.
Greetings.
Well, don't suppose I'm speaking to the new guest of the Sandstone Villa. I heard someone had taken occupancy there. I suppose you've come to the quarters to slum it, eh? Or are you inclined to lend a hand here? We're in a curious position here. The gnomes are obliged to help us, but they don't really want us dirtying up their city. So they shove us in here. Better than the wastes, but not by much. And if we try to improve the situation, we'll be turned out. We need someone who can stand up for us without getting us evicted, and who isn't afraid of bending some gnomish laws. Well, it's not all legal. There's petitions to destroy some contraband in the armory, and one to smuggle a letter to a man in prison. But there's also one to get the merchants in the Arcadium to share their profits. That's more straightforward. I think that might be an order. Here's an advance for your help. You'll get the rest when the jobs are finished. You can find the petitions board in the quarters. Answer 2 of them and I'll hold the job complete. Ablier can tell you more about the tasks, and will reward you for doing each one. The gnomes built this place for their achievements. Don't mistake that. If you're valuable to them, you're in. And if you're not, you're out of luck. The gnomes gave us the quarters and told us it was this or the wastes, so we had to make it work. I had to make it work. I knew a thing or two about keeping coins. Didn't take long for me to earn more than any of these poor sods could hope. Gnomes didn't like that. Let's just say I had my ear to the ground and learned that someone important was staying in Sandstone Villa. Someone of means. So long.
Aye? Yeah? We've no clean mugs and no clean beds. There's no tavern business running today. It's nice to have a peaceful place in this desert. Got bandits raising hell in Apatir, Jotun in Menethir. Now I hear talk of ghosts in the Hollowlands. Half of the poor folks in this place can't wipe their own asses after a day of work. My swill's the only thing that keeps them smiling half the time. The rat's den of Adessa, if ever there were one. Few joys we outsiders can afford, so I keep the swill cheap as I can. Good. Aye?
Always happy to see a new face. Been some time since we've had a new arrival. Adessa is different from Rathir. Everything about this city is planned, all its details already known. Rathir was built so haphazardly it'd keep surprising you. Most don't want to live here, but we Wiles have been refugees since the Tuatha first attacked. We're just happy to stop running. I know how to make a door open when it doesn't want to, if that's what you're asking. Pretty useful in a city with a few secrets. I came to Adessa with my brother Harrod and my sister Gwenfir. We were only children when we had to flee the fires of war, but here we are. Wretched curs, all of them. If it weren't for my siblings, I'd be fighting them even now. So long. Yeah?
Greetings. Are Another one blown in from the desert? Can't say I'm surprised. Just nowhere else to run from the war. Walls of glass and buildings of clean stone. It seemed too good to be true. And for those that aren't rich, it was. Worked in Cluricon, till the war pushed me from there. Then left Erethel for Detir. I'm guessing the war's hounded you to this corner of misery, too. It's the corner one sweeps ashes to. It's the pen where one keeps the beasts. It's horrible and dirty and all we have. Travel far.
Welcome to the Bursars.
Yeah, this won't do. This won't do at all. Prophets haven't been up since... Oh, yeah, excuse me, you're the courier, yes? Good. You're early. We can begin at once. Why, the delivery to the Motus Mining Branch office in the Hollowlands. Now, it seems we've misplaced our copy, so you'll have to reclaim the handbook from our old headquarters in Apotir. I need someone to go to the Motus headquarters in Apotir and recover a handbook, then deliver it to the Motus headquarters in the Hollowlands. Good. Should go to the old Motus mining offices in Apotir. Once you've found the book, bring it to a Polvair. Many have sought shelter from war within our walls. We have offered what we can to these outsiders, who built the city in exchange. I am the head clerk of Motus Mining's home office. Was so important, the Bursars even gave me a chest in their vault. Though privately controlled, we're significant enough to be integrated into several municipal services. The Bursars finances our expeditions now. The walls are the center of Adessa's labors. Every gnome gladly dedicates his or her life to the furthering of our great civilization. I need a courier to go to the closed Apotir branch of Motus Mining and recover the branch handbook. Then, take it to Motus Mining's new branch office in the Hollowlands. Simple enough, isn't it? Fine.
What?
Good tidings.
Eh? Well, if it ain't the guest of that fancy villa. Guess you thought to slum it up with one of us undeserving poor. Can't remember the last time I recall someone building a city. All the cities I know are old things, ancient. Adessa's an odd place in these lands. Used to make my living as a fighter in the House of Valor. But it's gotten bloody now. Not safe for the likes of me. Not like any of us can do much better than the quarters out in the real world. Some call it a slum, but I call it home. Right. Yes? Well, well, well. It seems you found the city beyond the walls of Sandstone Villa. Taking it all in, I see. Were the city a body, that would be its brain. The Basilica is both an academy and a shrine to the fires of enlightenment. I'm doing a number of studies in the art of animating inert objects through magical induction. Have you taken an interest in it as well as the Templars? The scholars are dedicated to advancing the corpus of gnomish knowledge. We are based in the Basilica Nostra, in the Isles. Usually they are too busy dealing with political matters to bother me, but not recently. Goodbye.